my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video is our this or that video. And what our video has to do with today is crochet books. Now, what we do on our this and that videos sometimes, I usually ask you a question that has to do with crochet, yarn, tools, any of those kinds of things. I also ask for, what's your opinion of things? And that's what the this or that videos are all about. And so today's question is, do you have crochet books that have helped you along the way? Or are you one of those kinds of people, kind of like me? You don't really buy a lot of crochet books. You just depend on the internet like Ravelry or YouTube. Okay, and so that's kind of what our question is about today. I've gotten lots of messages and emails asking me what are some crochet books that I recommend. Okay, so we're going to go over to the other camera and I'm going to show you 5 different books that have helped me in my crochet journey. So these are 5 crochet books that have helped me in my crochet journey. I don't like one more than another. They're not better to worse or worse to better. They're just 5 of all my books that have helped me the most, okay? Now, we're going to start with this one first. This is the Tunisian Crochet Stitch Guide, and this is from Leisure Arts, written by Kim Guzman. And it's a lovely book. It's very compact for starters. They give you all the symbols, a picture of what it should look like, and all of that. And I love that. And it's very easy to follow. And really, there's Kim Guzman. You've probably seen her on Ravelry and everywhere else. Very popular in the Tunisian. And I have all her books, by the way. And it gives you all the information that you need of learning how to do Tunisian crochet. And Tunisian crochet is done using the crochet hooks that have the open end on the end. They're long because you put it all on your stitch. But anyway, if you're wanting to learn about Tunisian crochet, this is a great book to get. Now, I have seen it on Amazon as well, but I bought mine quite a few years ago, so I haven't checked to see if it's still there. All right? What I'm going to do is when I'm done talking about our 5 books, I'm going to go on Amazon and see if you can find them there, okay? Or maybe other places. Like this is from Leisure Arts. You might be able to find it there. All right, the other book that I really love is this one. It's called The Crochet Stitch Bible by Betty Barden, okay? And I love how it is beautifully put together as well. You've got pictures, you've got graphs, you have it written out, and it's also a very compact book. You will find that it is written in what I call old style. Lots of abbreviations, not a lot of words. And I like especially this one. I don't know if you can see that in that yellow. Let me get one that's a different color. I think they're all in yellow. Oh, here. How it looks like. Here is what it looks like crocheted up. Here is the diagram, and here is it written out. And you can learn just about any stitch you want to learn from this book. I purchased this off Amazon, by the way. Okay? Another book is this one, and I bought this at, this one I got on Amazon, this one I got at Hobby Lobby. Okay, and this is another one. It's 200 Essential Stitches with step-by-step photos. This one is a little more in-depth, where it has step-by-step photos. Like this is your crocheted up portion. Here's how it talks about it. Here is a graph, and then it has small graphs that shows you step-by-steps, and I like that. And there are so many stitches in here. Like this is one I love, the Catherine's Wheel. I've got a pattern in my idea book of what I want to do with that. And just any pattern that you could possibly come up with is in this book as well. This also has a teaching tool in the front with pictures to learn the basic stitches and just basic information. Okay, and also I was going to show you in the back, There's some of my notes. This is how to add beads and sequins. Just lots of other things. I mean, this book is just packed full of things. Let's see. This book sells in the U.S. for $22.95. I forgot to give you the prices on these. Let's see. This one was, it doesn't have the price on here. I want to say this one was around $30. Okay. And this one I got on sale. It's originally, let's see, $9.99. I think I got it for 25% off when they were having a sale. Okay, now this one is a lot like the one I just showed you. It is a big, thick book, 400 large format, and it's set up kind of the same. But it has a lot of stitches in it that the other one doesn't have. And this one is written out more to the way that I write. It has more words, explanations, things like that. And I mean, and then this one also, I've got this marked because it's got motifs and flowers and all kinds of fun things in the back that you can learn. And this even has a section on Tunisian in it and other styles of crochet. All right. But I purchased this one at Hobby Lobby for $24.99. Okay. And I believe I bought this about 5 years ago as well. Okay. So the last one I bought at Hobby Lobby also. And I recently picked this up on clearance. Okay. But I really like this one because it has some of the open stitches. And it's really a neat book in my opinion because it's just basically squares. Just what we would call swatches. And it gives you multiples. It gives you notes. It has the whole pattern written out. Does not have graphs. But I don't really use them that much other than it's good to look at. Okay, and this has 50 stitches in it. So these are 5 books that helped me. Afghans, it's 4 Afghans by Darla Sims. I'm sure you've heard of her. This one is by Margaret Hubert. This one is by Sara Hazel. This one is Betty Barden, and this one is from Kim Guzman through Leisure Arts. And this one is Annie's Attic, by the way. So those are 5 books that have helped me. So those are 5 books that I've had, and I want to say I haven't had any of them more than about 7 years. Most of what I learned when I was a child was from the library in similar style books. Only a lot older books, of course. But I love these books. They've got a gazillion stitches in them, and they're really mostly set up to learn stitches. And I like that because you can take any stitch once you've learned it and add it to just about any project that you want to. And so they're great books to have. And so what I'll do is I'm going to look them up when I'm done doing the video and see if I can find links for you and put those underneath this video in that description box. I think that would help you a lot to have those books. But they can be expensive. And so a lot of times we just pretty much depend on YouTube and Ravelry or Pinterest or places like that to find patterns. And that's totally okay. You don't have to buy books. You don't have to buy magazines. A lot of people really love buying magazines. And I used to buy magazines a lot, but I found that I rarely ever worked the patterns in there. I loved looking at them and think, oh, that's just gorgeous. And then I would never work the pattern. I don't know why. I guess because I like designing my own stuff. And I like the way I find creativity is when I go to the stores and I'm looking. A lot of times the colors, you can find those in the children's department and all the beautiful colors. And it will tell you what people are looking for. If you go and look at a rack of shirts and there's like red, blue, green, and yellow, and the least amount is the blue, then people are buying the blue more. You know, things like that, just to be inspired by what's popular and what's not, and colors and things like that. And so I don't depend on books for that sort of thing. But I do love learning new stitches, and that's why these 5 books are so important, because they're just loaded with all kinds of stitches. Another thing you're going to find, though, is even in these 3 books, or 5 books, There are stitches that are the same, but they have different names. And that's another thing that has kind of happened in the crochet community as it's grown. Newer crocheters have come in and they do a stitch and they rename it. And I'm okay with that. I don't mind. I don't at all. You know, some examples of that is like called the midwife blanket. You know, before it was on that show, it was already a pattern, you know, and it had a different name. And that's okay. I'm just kind of like, I don't care what you call the stitch, just do it because it's fun, you know. All right, so let's bottom line our question here. Do you prefer to learn from a book so that you can see the pictures, or prefer to learn from, say, online, or maybe magazines, or maybe all of the above? So, please comment underneath this video and tell me your opinion. And remember, on these this or that videos, there are no wrong answers. We're all right because we have to do what works best for us. You and I may think completely differently. And then on the next thing, we may think exactly alike, you know, because when it comes to crochet, you know, like I always say, it's constantly changing, constantly growing. We learn new things, new yarns, and just have a really good time with it. It should be a time of joy and peace, not a time of frustration. Do you buy books with lots of stitches in them to learn patterns, or do you depend on the internet for your patterns? And when I say stitch patterns, there's a difference between a pattern and a stitch pattern, in case you don't know. A pattern would be, say, if I made a pattern, for example, my pillow I'm sitting on is a donut. It is literally a donut. And it's this pattern for a donut. But a stitch pattern is a pattern that's a stitch pattern that's just a stitch pattern. That's why there's a difference there. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about basic patterns, like a pattern for a pillow or a pattern for a puppy or a pattern for a sweater. I'm talking about basic stitch patterns. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for another addition to our this or that videos. This or that or the other thing.